Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Clark.
On Sailing Vessel Temptress.
And this is our February 2020 Adventure Log. We're anchored here in Georgetown. We're in our favorite little bay here in Ruins Cove. And we've been here basically since we arrived. We really like this little spot. It's really protected, but there's only one little protected spot here. We had quite a storm this week, and all the other boats went to other places, and they should, because there was whitecaps in here all around us, except for right where we are. We've got the one good spot, and it only just fits Temptress. It's only just deep enough. It's perfect. It's like the Three Little Bears bed. This one is just right. We sailed in here when we came in. I think we mentioned last time, but what we didn't mention is we had a little bother coming in. We came in Greater Georgetown Bay under sail, and Emily went forward to lower the staysail. She's learning to be, a serious sailor now, so she put it down all by herself and got it tucked away, but it took a little while. And as soon as she got it all settled, I engaged the engine. It had been running, but I engaged the transmission, and nothing. It just spun. Our propeller shaft had actually completely decoupled itself from the transmission, so we had no power. We had a little main up, so we very slowly sailed behind a reef and anchored, and I got down and fixed it. Luckily, all the bolts, I found them. They fell in the bilge, of course. Put it together, but that made us quite late, and we came in here, and that day it was very good weather, so there were so many boats in here, just starting to get dark, and we came in and snaked in amongst all the other boats. There's this sandbar. We went right around the little place of the sandbar, the only place that we can fit through, and came up here and anchored. Well, the next day, we were like heroes. Everybody's like, wow, you must know this bay.
And we've been here ever since, thanks to our new Mantis anchor, which is great. Just last year this time, we were anchored just behind where we are now, and I remember with the winds that we saw this week, last year we would have been up. The anchor would have been dragging. We'd have two anchors out. We were just kind of battling it and kind of always on alert. And where we are now and with this anchor, we're set.
Yep,
no worries.
We set an anchor alarm, as one does nowadays. They're on your cell phone. You just set it up and go to sleep, and the alarm doesn't go off, and we wake up in the morning. It's really nice, not dragging.
Mm-hmm. The only downside to this anchorage, I would say, is that it's all across the harbor, so it's like 2 miles to get to St. Francis, which is on the other side. Which is where we do trivia and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's almost 2 miles to get to Chattanooga Beach, which is where a lot of the action is and where things are happening. But we're on the same side of the harbor as town is, so to go to the grocery store, we don't have to cross all the waves that other people do. And it also allows us time to go over, have a fun social day, do a lot of different things, and then come back where there's no music and no noises and no wakes from people driving their dinghies around. So we kind of like live in the country, but we go to the city. That's kind of the setup that we like when we're here in Georgetown.
I guess we're kind of hermits. We don't like to be in the crowd.
Yeah, we're ambiverts. We go, we do the extroverted thing, and then we come back here and we rest and we do our own thing.
Very good.
It works for us. And we're gonna be in Georgetown for a while, as we mentioned in our last video. Rather than going right down to Panama, Colombia, Central America, this year we're gonna stay here, do some projects, enjoy our time here, hang out with friends. The Bahamas are just such a nice place. People sail all over, and then they come back to the Bahamas and say, "Wow, the water's really great here. This is just our favorite place." So we figure we might as well savor our time while we're here. So aside from having fun, hanging out with our friends, doing things like that, we've been doing a few projects. What's been on our project list this month?
Oh, jeez. Well, we mentioned that we lost the main ship's computer. Some water got in. It's weird how it got in. Boats have deck fills, so you can, in this case, it's the deck fill to put fresh water in. And that needs to be resealed every now and again. Well, salt water, when we made our Gulf Stream crossing, and there was just waves coming aboard the boat, got in underneath it because the bedding was gotten old, and it went down the hose, and there's a plywood shelf, and I mount the computer under that so it'd be extra protected. Well, over the years, I've mounted it a couple different times, and there were holes, and the water went down the holes right into the computer. So we lost the computer. We tried to fix it, but it was too far gone. So a friend from the Bahamas here had to go home to sell his house. They didn't need the house anymore, and they had to fly home, sign some paperwork. And I had him bring everything I needed, because it's kind of hard to get stuff coming here. Mm-hmm. So we got the things we needed and put them together, and we have a new ship's computer again, which is great because it's partly great because it's like for navigation and things like that. It's also great because of all the computers and all the laptops, this one uses it's not even a little less power. It uses like no power. I built a system that with great big monitors uses less than 2 amps of the batteries. And the best thing is we have some monitor set up over our saloon couch so we can just lie down and watch a movie without having to set stuff up. And it has decent sound. So life's better now. We have a computer.
Yeah, the other nice thing about having the ship's computer back is we were bouncing back and forth between my old laptop and your laptop, and every time we connected our laptops to the internet, our computers wanted to update themselves. So it was using all of our data up really fast. In fact, we had to skip a week of video this month because it was taking like 6 days for us to upload a video because our data had slowed down with the Google Fi. We've since switched to Alive, which is a local provider, so we've got more data, but there was just so much that stemmed, problems that stemmed from losing this computer, so we're really glad to have it back.
So we'll just have one computer that connects itself to the internet that's running Windows 10. Actually, I bought another computer, a really waterproof military surplus laptop called a Panasonic Toughbook. And it's an older machine, so I have Windows 7 loaded. The nice thing about Windows 7 on a sailboat is Microsoft has washed their hands of it, so there aren't any updates anymore. So the thing connects to the internet, and it just connects.
Yeah.
And that's going to save us a lot of data and a lot of time.
Another thing, project-wise this month, which wasn't like a heavy lifting sort of project, was just wiping down the whole boat, scrubbing our boat bathroom. Our head is our shower as well, and so just getting soap scum off all the bathroom, wiping down the kitchen, cleaning off walls where mold had grown while we were moored in Florida, just giving everything kind of a fresh, clean wipe down. That was a lot of work, so that was a couple days.
Sure. We didn't do that many projects. We've been talking about how many we have to do, and we haven't got a big rush start. Part of it is we're finally resting up from the big refit. Part of it is we arrive back here and there's friends and stuff to do, so that takes up a lot of time. Part of it was I wounded myself in a way I never even heard of before. We came in here, and apparently during the sail, I whacked my elbow really hard. You know, everybody's done that, and it hurts, and then it's over. Well, I guess I burst something called a bursus, and it takes forever to heal these things. They swell up, they fill up with water. Boy, if you ever do this, it hurts terribly. You just touch it and it hurts. And if you bump it, it pops again and it starts over again. In the best of times, it takes a month to heal, I understand. Anyway, it's starting to heal now, but I whacked it a couple more times. So I really had to curtail the projects and be careful with my elbow.
Yeah.
That's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking with it.
We haven't been hammering and sawing and doing those sorts of projects, but we did do the computer. Clark did some work on my battery pack for the dinghy. We were troubleshooting that a little bit.
Yeah, that's not coming out so great. I started out with used batteries. They were probably okay, but in the process of equalizing them before I got all the parts together, I got a little anxious and I overcharged them a little bit. I think I hurt them. So we've had some more cell failures. I might have to wait until I can get some more cells to have a good battery pack for that. But it's something we really want because it's Emily's motor, and it's just convenient to have.
But it's okay because I can sail my dinghy anywhere now.
She has been sailing all over. She hops in that little dinghy and takes off 2 miles away to like chat with somebody, and it's really quite something how far she goes.
And we saved a lot of money on fuel. And lastly, not our boat projects, but other people's boat projects, Clark has been helping people with refrigeration too.
Yeah, we have some real dear friends that have helped us out a lot, and their fridge went down. They had 2 fridges, so between the 2 fridges, I think I've got enough parts to have 1 working fridge. And I just need to get it all charged up and running properly.
And there was somebody else who came into the bay who also was having fridge problems that you helped, North Star.
Yeah.
Yep. So he needs like a little Superman with an R on it. Because he always ends up fixing people's fridge. That's why you got all the stuff this year.
I got that stuff also because I have to put in the air conditioning system. And who knows, I might have to cycle that a few times to get it right. But, you know, if somebody goes off cruising, there's like a couple things. If they fail, it really kind of ruins the joy of life. If you're a water maker boat, you kind of feel you need your water maker. I know lots of boats don't have water makers, and they're fine. Almost everybody has refrigeration nowadays, and if you lose your refrigeration, it's like, geez, I don't want to live this way. I want to go back and get it working. So some people go back to the U.S. from the Bahamas to get it working. And, of course, the diesel engine seems to be a very important part. I know I've lost a transmission out here in the Bahamas, and I just sailed into the next good spot and waited until I got parts. I didn't go sailing around. Anyway, I can't not help people with the refrigeration. Almost nobody knows how to fix them. and they affect your life a lot.
Yeah, refrigeration is important.
And these are people with freezers with 40 pounds of
Fish
meat
and stuff,
things. Yeah. Okay, Emily, why don't you tell us about this month's budget?
Okay, this is the analog version of the budget. As you know, every month we try to spend less than $1,000. That's our kind of official budget for cruising. This month we had our regular sort of daily life expenses, and those were under $500, which is pretty good. We also had some spares. We talked about the computer and stuff, so there's additional expenses on top of these. But for our daily life, our expenses were down almost 20% from last month. Groceries, $194, which is pretty in line with what we spent, about $50 a week. Restaurants, $110. That's about 4 days eating out. Prices aren't too bad. It's like $12 for a hamburger and fries.
And
maybe
we tend to buy the cheap
$5 for a
things.
beer. Yeah, we tend to eat at less expensive places. So $110, that's eating out about once a week here. Alcohol, $24. I think it was a bottle of wine, a few bottles of beer. Entertainment, $28. That was guitar strings.
Yep.
And also some registration for Regatta events, which we'll talk about in a bit. $8 for trash disposal. $37 for a new safety razor, because ours broke. And $75 for data and Wi-Fi. So that comes out to $476 for our regular living expenses. And then on top of that, you mentioned the computer. We've got about $500 worth of just supplies and different things for a computer, and also a Raspberry Pi that you're going to experiment with.
Don't really know what to do with it yet, but I just decided I really, really wanted one. And it would have been, if I had one, it could have been a backup for this computer. You can play movies with a Raspberry Pi. There's just a little tiny thing that can run Linux.
And then we bought the new laptop, the Toughbook, so we kind of learned our lesson with saltwater and computers that, we got our new ship's computer, we got that shelf all waterproofed and everything, but having a really tough laptop that kind of would be our last resort, and a good offline
We'll have
data computer
full sets of charts on that.
Yeah, so we're set on computer now, we hope. And we had that water maker problem last month. We bought a spare water maker membrane from somebody who was selling one here in the harbor, so that was about $150.
So next time it fails, we're all set.
Yep, so we've got a spare. So total for spares, repairs, replacements was $1,036. So our total this month was more than our $1,000 total. It was $1,512. But if you add that with last month's, our year-to-date total is $2,092, bringing our monthly average to $1,046. So I think, high five, we're doing an okay job with our cruising budget.
Also, a lot of that is still kind of like part of the refit.
Yeah.
We just didn't know we needed some of these parts.
Yeah, computers were a lot. And by the way, thank you to our patrons. I think all together last year we made about $900 between Patreon and ad revenue and stuff like that. We didn't get rich on YouTube, that's for sure. So that $900 kind of helps cover our data costs every month, and also these upgrades to our computer equipment, so we can keep making videos for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Activities is next. I think we've been playing music with our friends on land, which is always fun. We started up trivia again, which is always fun for the non-land people to do. And then there's Regatta.
Yeah, Regatta is a big deal in Georgetown. In fact, there's always a bunch of boats in Georgetown, but during Regatta there's more. And we got to almost 350 boats in Georgetown. Now that sounds like a crazy lot, but there's a lot of places like here where you can put a few boats and it's not crowded than another place. The people who really like to be jammed together can be jammed together along this long extended beach area, which kind of could handle, it's probably where 300 of the 350 boats are. So anyway, it's a very, very big deal. The first thing was the variety show. Emily did 2 acts. She did a Sunny and Cher act where she was Sunny and a very, very tall friend was Cher. And they did it in costume. It was quite hilarious. And then
and he did the sound for the entire variety show, so he kept everything working. So it was fun.
Try to keep it going smooth. Emily also did a thing with the looper that's pretty cool, and we'll put a link to that video right here after you watch this one. Go to this video. It's pretty neat what she did. And she had just learned to finger pick the ukulele just 3 weeks before she started training on that. So she really jumped right into it and did a good job.
Clark built this little speaker that hooks to a looper pedal with all kinds of chords and a microphone and everything, so I can make music with myself.
Yep.
After the variety show, I played in the softball game again this year, which was pretty fun. It's always a good time.
And you designed a T-shirt for the T-shirt competition. And there's a vote on that. Whoever wins the vote, that becomes the Regatta t-shirt for the next year. And Emily won.
Yeah. And we had, I came in second in the sailing dinghy race with my little dinghy that I built. And then there was a costume contest also that we both dressed up for.
And she won Best Female Costume.
I did. So, we've been busy. There's a lot of other stuff going on. There was something for Regatta every day. We didn't want to sign up for things every day, but we went about every 2 or 3 days we did something. So, that was a fun time. If you're thinking about coming to Georgetown, especially if you've got kids aboard your boat, this end of February, beginning of March time is really great for coming to Georgetown and finding things to do. So, yeah. What do you think was the best part of this month?
Well, I was really happy that I got the parts into the Bahamas to fix the computer. Just little parts, but, you got to get them. And trying to do it by mail, I've never heard anybody be happy with that. So I got the parts and got the computer working, and I'm just kind of happy to have all of the systems working. It's something... Temptress is an old boat, and bits of her aren't absolutely beautiful like a showroom thing anymore, but everything's strong, and I like everything to work.
Yeah, it's good when things work.
Yes.
I think Regatta is one of my favorite parts. I always went to summer camp growing up as a kid. And this is just like being at summer camp again. You see the same people you saw last year, and then they'll go away, and you'll say, "Oh, I'll see you next year." And you sign up for different things. You get to try new things. It's the spirit of it is really nice. So I like Regatta.
How about worse things?
I think your elbow is one of the worst things.
Yeah.
It keeps banging it. You banged it like twice today, too.
Yeah,
it's hard to get it to heal.
When you work and you move around in a boat, you kind of use your elbows to guide yourself. You know where the wall is and stuff. Except I just can't hit this one at all. And it's weird because I can lift my full strength. I can do anything. I just can't bump it. I don't know.
Achilles elbow.
Yeah, I'm just feeling like an old man or something. I go to parties and I'm standing like this all the time, so nobody will bump my elbow. But that's getting better. So anyway, that's kind of over.
And I know you were really disappointed about the dinghy battery.
Yeah, I was.
It's not dead yet, but it's looking like it might not work. So we've got this this Newport motor that I put on my dinghy that we don't really have a use for right now, but maybe we'll figure out a battery solution.
Yep, I really want that portable waterproof lithium battery. It was supposed to do about 3 or 4 jobs on the boat.
Yeah, the hookah. We're going to hook it up to the hookah.
Yeah.
And my thing, and it's also part of the battery bank on the boat. So
sure, but I'll get some more cells and redo it later sometime. We'll have to leave the Bahamas next season because of immigration. You can only spend 8 months at a time in the Bahamas. So we'll probably fly back, I'll get the parts, and then I'll find another boat coming out next season early that'll carry it for me. Because you can't put them on airplanes.
Yeah, that's right.
Though you should be able to because they're lithium iron phosphate, but that's a subtlety that the FAA doesn't understand.
Yeah. So anyway, good things, bad things, but it's all good in general.
How have we lived intentionally this month? Have we?
I think we have. I think the decision to slow down and spend more time here, we felt like we were pressuring ourselves to keep going, but I think we've made the choice to stay here and relax and live a good life. I mean, there's a reason we're not working anymore. We want to relax, and so that's very intentional, and I think we've been very intentional about our time, about signing up for things, but also keeping time for ourselves and helping other people, but also, helping ourselves, those sorts of things. I've really enjoyed the huge community that's here and being part of that. And I think we, as people who are younger people, as people who don't have children, as people who have more free time and lots of talents, refrigeration and stuff like that, we've been able to be really generous with our time. And like I was doing ukulele lessons a few days ago on the beach and had 7 different people come out to just get one-on-one lessons and help them get better at things. And a couple people asked me, "Oh, how much are the lessons?" And it was bizarre to me because I was just kind of doing it, for the fun of doing it. Because we know that if we help other people when we need help, people will help us. So it feels good, and it is intentional. I think that we do that, and that we're always helping put back into this community because the community's done a lot for us too.
But it was nice that somebody gave you a bottle of champagne to teach their kid to play ukulele.
Yeah, we got a bottle of champagne. I think somebody gave me a chocolate bar. So
that was nice.
Yeah. Bartering, trading karma, it's all good. I guess that's it for the month. Thank you as always for watching our videos. Leave comments about what kind of videos you'd like to see. We've got a lot of things up in the air, lots of different series going on. I know I have to get through the finish of my boat, Clark wants to talk about the air conditioning once it's built. He wants to talk about what we've done with batteries too. We have a mixed system of lithium and lead acid batteries.
We have so many ideas for videos.
So, comes down to a vote sometimes. Leave in the comments what videos you want to see next, and we'll try to get them out. And also enjoy our time here and not just be inside editing all the time.
Yeah.
So.
But like always, thumbs up down there. That really helps promote the video. If you find a video you like, if you share it on Facebook or whatever, new people get to see our videos, and maybe they like our stuff, and maybe they subscribe.
Yes. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our patrons. We'll scroll your names over there. Thank you, especially for now that we have a computer that works. We're going to be able to put out some more videos for you guys.
So, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.